To make the top, start by taking your shoulder to shoulder measurement and subtract 10 centimeters from it. That gives you the length of the foundation chain. And of course, because we are using the scissors stitch, you must make an even number of chains. Now inside the second chain, make a single crochet and a double crochet, again in the same chain. That's our first scissors stitch. Now skip the next stitch into the following, repeat the same thing, one single crochet, yarn over, one double crochet in the same chain. Repeat again, skip one chain into the following chain, one single crochet plus one double crochet in the same chain. Repeat the scissors stitches until you are at the end of the row. After the last scissors stitch of the row, you have 2 chains left into the last one. Make a single crochet, and that ends this first row of scissors stitches. Chain 1 done, that chain doesn't count as a stitch. Into the very first stitch, make a scissors stitch, so one single crochet and one double crochet into the same stitch. Skip the next, into the following make one single crochet and one double crochet, so another scissors stitch. So repeat again another row of scissors stitches. Once again, at the end, make a single crochet into the last stitch, chain 1 done, and repeat another row of scissors stitches. Keep making rows of scissors stitches until row 10. When you are about to start row 10, I'll meet you and we will make increases at the beginning and at the end of row 10. Alright, now I'm about to start row 10. Into your first stitch, as usual, make your scissors stitch, one single and one double. And now right there and into that same first stitch, we will make a second scissors stitch. So one single crochet, one double crochet. So the increase is actually going to be 2 scissors stitches into one stitch. Continue now working your scissors stitches without increase until the last stitch where we will make another increase. To create the increase at the end of the row, we will make a scissors stitch into the last stitch. So instead of just making a single crochet as we've been doing so far, this time make a scissors stitch, so one single and one double into that last stitch, and then go in there again and make a single crochet. Now chain 1 done, and row 11 will be a row without increase, so work scissors stitches across. Actually, from row 11 to 19 it's going to be scissors stitches without increase, and then on row 20 you make increases at the beginning and at the end of row 20. Keep repeating that series, so 9 rows without increase, and then on the 10th row you make an increase. Keep repeating that until you are 5 centimeters away from the total length that you want for the top. This is my last row. My panel is 36 centimeters long and about 50 centimeters wide, and that's okay for me. So once you have your last row made, the next step is to define the straps, where to place the neckline to have the straps. So what you have to do is to take your shoulder to shoulder measurement minus 3 centimeters. My shoulder to shoulder measurement is 45 minus 3, that is 42 centimeters. So roughly I'm leaving 42 centimeters in between to create the straps. Stop. I had to come in quickly to make a very important correction. Actually, the measurement to leave in between the straps is not the shoulder to shoulder measurement -3, but rather -13 centimeters. Let me explain this. Since I want the top to be off shoulder, basically I'm expected to leave here the shoulder to shoulder measurement, this distance between the straps. Even though I want the top to be off shoulder, I still want it to be like a bit snatched around my shoulders. That's why I decided to remove 3 centimeters from the shoulder to shoulder measurement. But then I forgot about the length of the strap, the 5 centimeters that are left to work to have the total length of the top. So what happens is I have this measurement in between the strap plus the length of the strap, so I have 10 more centimeters added up to the distance that I left here in between. So I ended up with like an extra 10 centimeters. I finished my top, tried it on, and then saw that I have like an extra off shoulder top. So I had to make this correction. You should take your shoulder to shoulder measurement -13 centimeters, not 3 but -13 centimeters. Apart from that, the rest of the tutorial remains the same. I will show you at the end how I try to catch up to fix the mistake that I made. I'll count. Yeah, I think I have like 3 suicide stitches that make it the strap. I'll also count the other side to have the same number of stitches. To start the strap, chain 1, turn, and simply start a new row of suicide stitches. So you make your suicide stitches until you meet the stitch marker. My strap is made of 3 suicide stitches. I made them, and then I will single crochet into where the stitch marker is. That ends this first row of the strap. Chain 1, turn, and repeat your rows of suicide stitches until you have the last 5 centimeters that are left to have the total length for your top. And that is it for the first strap. To make the second strap, reattach your yarn where the stitch marker is and just repeat the same thing. So right there where the yarn is reattached, you make your first suicide stitch. Until the end of the row, you repeat suicide stitches into the last stitch as usual. 1 single crochet, chain 1, turn, on. There you go, you repeat the same number of rows that you made for the strap on the first side. Repeat it on the second side. Repeat the process to make your second panel. Now sew the straps together. Do the same thing on the second side. Next, open up your project like this. You have the panels on each side. Then take the measurement around your shoulder toe, and that's the measurement that we are trying to mark here to define the sleeves. Mine is 40 centimeters, so I'm roughly placing the markers. Next, I will count to make sure that I have the same number of rows on this panel as I have on this panel. I'll reattach the yarn and make a row of single crochets until you meet the next stitch mark. 1 single crochet in each row. After the last single crochet into the second stitch, you may want to count the number of single crochets that you made across so that you can replicate it on the second side later. Now chain 1, turn, and make suicide stitches across, so until you get to the other stitch marker. After this first row of suicide stitches, chain 1, turn, and start another row exactly the way we did for the panels. So you make rows of Suzette stitches. I will make 9 of them, and then for the 10th row I will do a decrease. This is the end of my row 9 of the sleeve, ready to start row 10. So row 10, I'm going to make a decrease. To make the decrease, insert the hook into the first stitch, pull the yarn out, go to the next stitch, insert your hook, pull the yarn out, and into the third stitch, you do the same thing, pull the yarn out. You have 4 loops on the hook, close that single crochet, yarn over, make a double crochet into that last stitch where we worked. That's how we are going to be making the decreases at the beginning. Now work your Suzette stitches without decrease until you are 4 stitches from the end, and I'll meet you where there we will make another decrease at the end of the row. Well, I have 4 stitches left, that is 2 Suzettes. I will start 1 single crochet without finishing, next stitch start, don't finish, and the last one start. And this time when you have the 4 loops on the hook, you close that single crochet, chain 1, and start your row 11, which is going to be a normal row without decrease. So row 11 to 19 is going to be normal Suzette stitch rows, and then on row 20 you will make another decrease. Depending on how wide and how long you want the sleeve to be, you may not need to make the second decrease. You may not need to reach row 20. Like for me, I'm stopping on row 16, and that is enough for me. Once you finish the first sleeve, repeat the same process to make the second sleeve. Last step is to sew the sides together. I'll be doing it with a needle, but feel free to do it with the crochet hook. Finally, weave in the ends, and that is it. How I tried to catch up on the situation was by taking out 5 centimeters on each side. So I'll take out 5 centimeters, make some Suzette stitches here, and I'll do the same thing on this side as well. And unfortunately for me, the black yarn that I was using since the beginning is finished, so I had to bring in another yarn, another color of yarn, but it's okay. I think it gives it a fancy look. So yeah, I hope you liked the tutorial. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and I will see you in my next video.